Hey, good evening. Welcome everybody here. I'm starting the session in less than a minute as I'm dropping a message to all the students I have to join this session as it starts. And I'm sure it's going to be a very good one. I'll make you aware of the complete roadmap to SSC CGL Tier 2. Also, we'll be discussing some questions supposed to be there in SSC CGL Tier 2 2024 as per the analysis of the previous year papers from 2022, 2023 and 2024. I start in a minute. I request all of you here to drop your comments. If you have been to SSC CGL Tier 1, your examination has been there. And any comments from your side back in, I should say, last 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, if anybody of you has their examinations, kindly drop your comments and we go ahead on a roll now in less than a minute. Welcome all of you here. Just a sec. Okay, let's go ahead now. Welcome from my side to all of you present out here. I'm sorry for the mismatch from my side today. Let's go ahead. Welcome all of you. Harar Mahadev, good afternoon, and all of you here. Esther, Rinkalaka, Sharmi, Radhika, Vaibhav, Nancy, Vedansh, Soumya, Shweta, Muskan, Anshraj, Abhishek, Sneha, Preetham, and all of you here. Okay, Radhe Radhe, welcome. SSC CGL Tier 2, 2 years ago, used to have 200 questions of English. When it comes to experience, you may have more knowledge than we have. But when it comes to experience, I would love to suggest to all of you present out here that please go through those CGL Tier 2 papers in which we have 45 questions in the mains examination these days for last 2 to 3 years. I request all of you, I suggest to all of you present out here, please go through those papers in which English used to be of 200 questions, say 200 marks, because they can teach you a lot of things. Just appearing examinations and scoring something is the ability of yours as per that examination. But when it comes to learning part, we have at least 3 months as estimated. It's 16th of September today, and it is supposed to be in December or say the first week of January, supposed to be there. You have at least 3 months to prepare, or more than 3 months. I recommend all of you present out here, please go through those CGL Tier 2 papers in which we had 20 questions from error detection, 20 questions from sentence improvement, 20 questions of voice, 20 of narration, 20 parajumbles, close tests, RCs and all in bulk amount. That's how we can rearrange ourselves when it comes to appearing for say error detection, say for improvement, for close tests, for RCs and such. When it comes to just 45 questions or say 25 questions in the pre, that is not going to teach us anything. That will just be a paper to judge our assessment. So I personally suggest if you have 3 to 4 months from now, go through those papers which have been asked in last 2 to 3 years, 45 questions of English. Please go through those questions in or papers in which English used to be a part of 200 questions with 200 marks. In this session, I'll guide you through a sample paper, say a mock test if I say, in which we'll be questioning or attempting those questions that are generally asked in SSC examinations generally. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me tell you something. This is a roadmap to Tier 2 and we'll be discussing such questions which have been asked in SSC CGL for last 2 to 3 years if I say. Before I start, just a couple of notifications to start with. We have this Onam sale. You can grab 48% flat discount on SSC Super Elite or any other subscription you're willing for, and can use the code ONAM to grab 48% off. All-in-one solution is SSC Super Elite. You can grab this subscription and join any course, any batch, any teacher, any educator, any mock test, typing test, etc. If you're willing to go for any one subscription, you can go for that as well. This is the nominal amount. You can apply the code and get maximum discount possible. We have this CGL foundation course for 2025, the English medium one, in which you'll be getting all the subjects in English, not only English but also the other subjects, reasoning, quants, GA and GS in English. Not only the content but also the explanation is going to be in English with a number of classes, 300 plus basic to advanced, practice sessions, 250 plus tests with AI analysis and 100 plus typing tests also available there. Let's start the session. Thank you for the kind words. Most welcome, hey dear. Don't say anything such, you're welcome. Radhe Radhe from all of us present out here. The first one is a good one. Do not be sorry. Home to is all correct. Welcome. This is all fine. It is home to a number of. The first one I say is a good one. Have a look again. Good evening, Angela. Okay, everyone. You have looked at the grammar of the sentence. You better know sometimes in examinations, mostly in banking examinations, we are asked questions related to context. That means the given statement is grammatically correct, but may not have some errors from context. Have a look at the sentence contextually, not just grammatically. No, Vaibhav. That's also Kalpana through sheer practice, if I say. Manish, unbelievable answer. And that is all correct. Pramod, perfect answer. If I say more perfect or most perfect, I'm willingly saying that. I'm not an illiterate person to mention most perfect. You are all correct. Perfect, brother. Yes. Look at this. This reserve wildlife is home to many species. The plural of species is species. We have discussed in noun. Cod, salmon, fish, deer, sheep, aircraft, spacecraft, hovercraft, species, rendezvous, and many words have the same form, both in singular and in plural form. Devang, that's all fine. That is all fine, brother. Home to many. This is all fine. This is home to many species. This is home to many animals and all. Judge this. That is home is, not was, to many species that are now extinct. The meaning of extinct is some species which no longer exist now. And if those species do not exist now, how can something be the home? Is in the present tense. And if it is home, that means they are not extinct, they are going to be extinct. Pramod, more than perfect, brother. Nearly extinct. Or completely rephrase the sentence and say they are endangered. Have a look, no problem. We are not in a hurry to go ahead and ahead and ahead without looking at the questions. At least, welcome. Is that okay? If it is home, that means people live there. Those species live there and they are extinct. They no longer exist. Then who lives there? They are probably extinct. They are going to be extinct. Pramod. They are nearly extinct or they are endangered. Perfect description from you. Next. Yes. I was running out of time, so couldn't mention this A, B, C, D. I request all of you here to answer carefully. Every, say, option is A, B, C, D. Thanks to Pramod for the distinction. Devang, is that okay now? Thank you. Pramod, can't help praising you. Yes, we have both the variations. Insist, that is correct, but that is a conjunction. It must have a complete sentence coming after this. Insist on is also correct, but it should have an object of the preposition. What do we have now? Thank you. So she insisted that there should be a complete sentence now. Wearing warm clothes, even though the temperature was quite unpleasant, we don't have a sentence. That's a conjunction here, which has a sentence. We do not have a sentence after this, after the conjunction that here. So that's not appropriate. Say, she insisted on wearing warm clothes. A preposition takes ing and that's better. So she insisted on doing that, this or that, even though the temperature was quite unpleasant or pleasant. Lokesh, I myself have made the paper. This is a mock test once again designed by me. Devang, have a look at this carefully. You will be asked some questions personally. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Lokesh, I have made this because of that. Good afternoon. Good evening, Priya Yeshi. Manish, that was impressive. That's not that difficult. Yep. Perfect. Nitish, in which one? Yes, we have the fixed sets. You say round the clock. Say in the morning because that's a duration of time. In the morning. You say in the afternoon, that's a duration of time. You say in the evening, that's a duration of time. But noon, midnight, they are the fixed point of time. So at must be used, not in the noon. That's not a duration of time. It is 12:00 sharp, not the duration of time if you talk about. So not going to be in the end, at the, I'm sorry, in the noon, that is always at noon. It doesn't exist. You can never ever say in the noon. It doesn't exist. At noon, Nitish, not even the article. The fixed point of time. Manish, that's a mistake, and shouldn't say a mistake, a blunder. Shubham, no. Whenever we put an apostrophe, there must be a noun coming after that. And we do not have any noun coming after compositions. On the other hand, we have a noun after musicians. So that's all appropriate. Yes, of course, the typical SSC errors they are fond of asking have plus V1 or V2, did plus V2, a comparative degree one I have shown you here. But the compositions, not was, the compositions were typical SVA, subject verb agreement. So the compositions were of the musician, or the compositions of the musician were praised by all. Good evening. Welcome, Subrata, virus gaming and all. Verb stands alone. Yes, of course. The third one, achieve, that's quite the same as given over there. This is achieve. I-E-V-E. Yes, brother. I have made, so you can see the sprinkles somewhere. Sumedha. I hope you remember this line. By the time, in past tense, I reached the railway station, the train had left. By the time I got the tickets and entered the cinema theater, the movie had started. By the time I by the time he came, I had had dinner. One of the sentences is supposed to be in perfect tense, either in past or present or future, that way. Yes, Shubham. So by the time next year, by this time next year, they will have had, they will have opened a new research facility in the city. It will have happened by this time. Come on. By this time, the match should have been finished. Match will have been finished in that way. I can't explain that much in English, but if I say a couple of words in Hindi, इससे पहले कि वो लोग आएंगे, काम हो चुका होगा. इससे पहले कि मैं पहुंच पाता, मूवी स्टार्ट हो चुकी थी. You have the perfect tone here. The same happens either in past tense or say in future. So by this time, quite common. If you are new here, go through SSC Steno question papers 2022, if I'm not wrong. They had in every set, I repeat, in every set, they had one of the structures by this time, perfect tense, by the time, perfect tense, by the time, and perfect tense. Do remember if this is new to you. Thank you. But I remember I did teach this a couple of days ago on the SSC Hindi channel, if I say the English channel, if I say, where I mentioned one of the idioms, go to it, if you remember. Prajwal, that's all fine, but we have a better choice. We have a better choice because go through is also used for some difficult situation, is also used. I'm not saying this is only used for those. Remember, you have to go through fire and water. You have to go through fire and water. So that was to go through some difficult situation also. So what should be a better choice? I did mention this on that turn, if you remember. So what should be a better choice? That's not wrong, but we have a better choice. I repeat, that's not wrong. We have the same phrase from the verb look. We have the same phrase from the verb watch. Go with the flow. Everyone is dancing. I should be dancing, going with the flow. Going with something. That's quite common. Come on. Okay. Devang, come here. Remember the make believe? One day I mark. This is a noun. ये तगड़ा था. Direct words from your side. Make believe. Go around is a verb, no objection. If you have heard songs, what goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. If you have heard these lyrics, songs, whatever. But that's a noun as well, mentioning the same stuff. A series of events also. A series of events also. Occurring one by one, step by step, in that way also. The answer is go over, which is to examine. You might have forgotten, but I did mention this on the last turn. Go over is to examine. This is to discuss, examine, have a look at when something is under your control. Go over is to examine. So that's the same here. No problem. Next. Thank you. I remember I did mention this. Thank you. Pankaj, that's the meaning of the phrasal verb. Okay, I'll show. Go over. Let me show. You answer this and I show you that. Anyone, either Oxford or Cambridge. Webhov, kindly help. Okay. If you go over something, you examine or check something carefully. Go over your work before you hand it in. Thank you, brother. Is that okay? Preeti, good evening. Welcome. If you go over something, you examine or check something carefully. To examine something. Thank you, Pragta, for the laughter. Okay, so that was to go over, to check the data, examine the data before making any conclusions. Okay, next. I think that was quite easy. She said, I can finish the project report by Monday. She said that, not she says, impossible. The given statement is in past tense. Not even told. That's the transitive verb. She told me, him, her, there should have been something such. No, only two options are there. Now the first one says can. No, in past tense we can't have can. She could finish the project. That was with enthusiasm. Then we were saying before making any conclusion, before saying anything, just go through the data. Just check the data, examine the data carefully. So a better choice. Thank you, Prashant. God bless you, hey dear. Okay, you are asking what was that? To do something enthusiastically, with happiness, cheerfully. Go through fire and water. You are correct, and so am I. Go through fire and water to undertake any difficulty or risk. It was announced by the judge with great deliberation. So the judge announced is all fine because we don't have ing in the given statement. That's not even present tense, not in present tense. Vaishali. Prajwal. What does that mean? Now, Lokesh need not skip. There is something called elimination, which works most of the times. Let's apply here. Your response was completely blank space. I don't know what your response was, but the description is did not address the issue at hand. It did not address the issue. That means something negative should be here. And you have given a word irrelevant. That was not appropriate. That's why I did not address that. Not related to the subject, Vedansh. So that was irrelevant, and we have to mark the synonym, not the antonym of the word. So something with the intention of being irrelevant should be here. Pertinent is relevant, so that's the antonym of the word. Antonym. Apt is appropriate, so the antonym of the word. Essential is a positive word. It's not a negative word. Come on, we are asking something. You are giving the extra information, not the one we wanted. That is extra, full of the other details, not the ones we wanted. So that is a synonym of irrelevant. If you did not know this, do know this now. Appropriate, hey dear. APT is appropriate. Appropriate, apt. The opposite is also true. Inapt is not appropriate. Yes, Saloni. Synonymous. Synonyms, not even synonymous. Synonyms of each other. Pertinent to, relevant to. Both share the same preposition. Not essential, Soumya. And you are correct, Shweta. Hello, KP. Have a look at the questions. I request you to because you will, asked something. It doesn't, or he doesn't, Priya, make something from discarded materials, from pieces of old discarded materials, from stone as well. Absolutely correct. He is the one who is a skilled one, has the knowledge of art forms and all, not just from creating art from pieces of old and discarded material, just like rubbish and all. Curator, we better know, of museum, of pitch as well in cricket, is not the one who creates art from say art form from old and discarded materials, is the one who is adept at making say statues and all from stone as well, not from old and all. This is, can I say, like recycle, upcycler, taking that part aside and reutilizing that for use once again. Deva, Firoz Shah Kotla, Sri Lanka. TM Dilshan, if I'm not wrong. Come. Because of the uneven bounce. Yes. Love Kush, absolutely, brother. Curator is the head of the museum who takes care of the museum. Nowadays, for cricket as well, the pitches. That was edited by the team of experts. Team of experts edited that. No present, no perfect, nothing such. Didn't have time, so you have the cliche one here. Manish, you are at the door. Just get inside. That means you are almost there at what is required to qualify tier 1 examination these days. Just increase this a little bit more and you are there. Prajwal, perfect. Ayushi, that's even impossible. You can't have a first form after have. And it's impossible to say said us. Have you noticed SSC in recent times has asked voice and narration without giving the actual sentence? Which of these is in passive voice? P plus V3. Which of these is in superlative degree, positive degree? The only option having as, this, as, and such. So kindly eliminate as per the given options. Said us is impossible, said to us, said to us. Both of these vanished. Have, receive is impossible in English. The only option which is in direct speech. Manager told us you will receive the updates by tomorrow. All fine, no objection. I know the cliche one. Said to us. Because of lack of time. Let's go ahead quickly. If you break the ice, you start a conversation anywhere, not even in a social meeting or anything such. You start a conversation anywhere. Need not define that. Put off, postpone, delay. In last 7 days, I have taught postpone. Haven't I? KP? Sumedha, thanks a lot for being here. Stay here and you will learn a lot. Sumedha. The designer knew a collection launched. People here who have gone through last 2 to 3 years SSC CGL Tier 2 papers, remember the iconic one, much ado about nothing. Devang and KP here. Much ado about nothing. That's the similar one, but a tiny one, not that difficult. Vaishali, I'm sorry I didn't have time, but yes, for sure, tomorrow onwards I will make these. The designer knew a collection launched. Probably he launched a new collection, something such. A new collection launched the designer. Collection launched the designer. Come on. Designer launched. Yep. A new collection. Designer launched. Come on. Designer is a noun. Collection is a noun. Launched. Can't start with V2 either. "22 means much ado about nothing. CHSL. Manish. Saurav. Prajwal. No problem. We can have the preciseness, or say A, B, C, D. The sun rises in the east. Horizon is the point where we see the, what should I say, the earth and the sky touching each other. So the sun, blank space over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the landscape, just like the dawn, even the dusk also. Sun collapsed. I'm sorry, I was going through this. Sun faded, but not over the horizon, should have been below the horizon and say under the horizon. That means it is rising, not setting in that way. Sank? No, not that way. Just one option, the synonym of rise, emerged over the horizon. Oh, I'm sorry. Verb have perfect. Yes. This is the delicate issue I have ever had to deal with. You are talking about time expression I have ever seen in my life. You are one of the finest people. He's one of the best dancers, cricketers, etc. I have ever come across in my life. So that's a whole scale. That means not just one. We are talking about, say, all of those. More should have been a comparative form than the delicates. That's quite the same. Much delicate, it takes a comparative degree adjective after this. Impossible. The most delicate issue I have ever had to deal with. Love Kush, that's also fine to identify. We have the definite article the, after which we use a superlative degree in general. Sakshi. Perfect. We do not use an Saloni. Great, you have marked the kangaroos. Oh. We do not use an article before a proper noun. We live in India, America. I'm saying America, not the USA, which has a common word, states, for which we use the definite article the. They are traveling to Australia, not the Australia or the Australia. No. No article, Manish. The Netherlands. The heck? Since this is just a 1 hour session, I don't have, say, RCs and close tests today. I promise on the next turn we will have RCs and close tests also pertinent, relevant for CGL Tier 2. Yes, of course. Shooting the trouble is a troubleshooter. Visionary, Elon Musk. You have visions for the future, you think about the future quite a lot. Diplomats are those official people. Diplomats, if I say he's skilled at finding solutions to difficult problems, that's not the job of a diplomat. Has much more than to do. Analyst is the one who analyzes. Finding solutions, particularly troubleshoot. You have troubleshooters in your Windows as well. If your mic is not working, display is not working properly, you troubleshoot a problem. So when it comes to a problem solution, that's the same as troubleshoot. And the person, cooler, heater, leader, manager, troubleshooter. Yes, Priya. Shubham. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much for being here and there. Shubham. Saurav. They said, we are going to the concert tonight. Let's have a couple of options where we have that night, the only possibility. Otherwise, tonight in past will not be tonight. Drop these. That night and that night. So we just have two options here. Now, they said, we are going to the concert. They said that they are, should be in past, were, not had things. Present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. Nitish. Yes, the official ones sent by the government. They will discuss the issue next week. The issue not was, is, will, no, have be discussed next week. Shikha. Saurav would love to say something. Don't take ill. Once you progressed, they has the sentence finishes here. How can one go to before the deadline? And that's all correct. But we can't even reach there. They has finished. They have. Nitish. Love Kush. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Yes, and that's true. That's honestly true. I have not learned it through any book or dictionary, through experience, looking at those previous year papers across the sections or streams. Innovating is a verb which can have the object after this. We are innovating what? Making some inventions, innovations where need to make or mark the object. But Shubham, brother, this is already an adjective. That's quite innovative, imperative, assertive, IVE. Manisha, Aditya, I'm sorry. If you put superlative degree most innovative, you have to define it further. Ganga, the Ganga, say, is the most, sorry, is the holiest river. We can't put a full stop after that. Is the holiest river of India. Even in the previous sentence, Weber marked, if you mention superlative degree, you have to mark the superlative sense. I have ever had to deal with. I have dealt with a lot of questions in my life, issues in my life, and this is the most delicate one I have ever dealt with in my life. So you need to mark the superlative sense if you are willing to mark a superlative degree. Most innovative of all, or anything such. We can't have a superlative. We can't have a comparative either. Need not. Innovating is a positive one. Fine, but that's already correct. Need not make any corrections. His design was not only functional but also innovative. That's functional adjective. That's innovative adjective. No need to put a, say, participle or anything such. Ayushi, that's an adjective, not a noun. Yes, that's all, no error. Do not be. Yes. Yashwanti, perfect. Please hand in your form by the end of today. Yes. You hand something over, say you submit something, or you give the, say, responsibility to someone. Yes. the assignment was handed over to the principal or anything such. As per the context, you can also get this. Please hand over your form, the assignment, the copies, the registration, the details by the end of today. So please hand over. Nothing such. I don't even know they exist. Some more to finish today's class. To the person also. Yep. Distribute. Saloni. How many times should I say more, better, more, better? Let's have more verse. The opposite of better. Yes. The situation was more verse. So what should be the answer? A, B, C, and D. Um, honestly, sorry, but all of you have got 4 marks deducted. 3 you were supposed to get, -1 for the minus marking. This is sentence improvement, not error detection. Yes, I do mention, of course, I do mention that in a comparative degree, you use the articles, in a comparative degree, you use much with a comparative degree adjective. I repeat, you use much with a comparative degree adjective, and that's not an error detection, that's a sentence improvement, for which we are supposed to prefer if that's available. And that's the tone of the author, that more verse, that means he's willing to mention more verse, even the comparative degree of the comparative degree adjective. So just mark the comparative one. Much worse than that we had expected. Yes. Had it been an error detection, you would have been correct. That was a sentence improvement. And remember, much better, much more. Much is used with a comparative degree adjective. Now, Jatin, that's a better one. That is a better one. That's not wrong. His new exhibition is attracting more and more visitors than ever. This new movie is breaking all the records. That's all fine. Prajwal, if something is new, the latest exhibition is catching everyone's eyes. It's better to mark that in continuous tense. If you say has attracted, that's not wrong, but it's a perfect tense. That means things have been completed. That means things have been completed. I have informed him. No longer going to inform him. And that's the latest exhibition. May go ahead further. So that's better. Yes, that's why I put no errors, because you have to willingly or unwillingly catch them. Yes, Saloni. Yes, of course. -8 now. Thank you, Abhishek. Prajwal, is that okay? Has attracted, that means that's done. It's not going to attract further. But this is the latest movie is crossing, is breaking all the records, is still breaking. Latest, some tone of present tense. Prajwal, what about this, brother? This movie is crossing all the records. Is still crossing. I repeat, that is correct, but not quick. Yes, please answer. This is tier 2, I say. The object, blank space to the floor. If you say down, that will be the redundant either preposition or the adverb. You have the adverb to the floor, on the floor, whatever you say. So need not put sit down. But we finished the sentence after this. Sit down. It fell down. We don't have another adverb of place. We have an adverb of place, need not pick this particular one. Not flown, Shweta. I honestly marked the option from what I taught in the morning today. You better know what I'm talking about. No, Ayushi. The object is not going to drop. The object got dropped. That's a passive one. And it fell automatically. I didn't. Yes. It fell, second form of fall. And another one. Yes, Manish. Manish. Yes, Vaishali. Prajwal, what is wrench? Remember, you're using this for roof. Nitesh, with a hammer, I cannot repair my roof. Hammer. But since you're talking about roof, I need to touch that even. For which I Nana Manish, but that's a better choice. Wrench is for nuts and bolts, and there is nothing like nuts and bolts on the roof, if I say. Just finishing things in a minute. Okay. There's nothing like nuts and bolts on the roof, so nothing like wrench. Saw, in Hindi you can better understand Ari. You can't cut the roof. So saw is irrelevant here. Hammer is impossible. How would you say repair your roof with a hammer? It'll get broken. Drop it. You need a ladder to repair a roof in order to touch, access the roof. Okay. Take a screenshot of these two questions. We'll discuss them tomorrow. Take a screenshot. Time is up. See you tomorrow. Take a screenshot. Yes. We are nuts and if you are rents. Finishing things now. See you tomorrow at the same time. One can subscribe to the channel for much more content. Before I finish, let me show you something that yes, we have this sale and the offer. If you're willing to get any subscription at Olive Board, you can grab 48% off with the code ONUM and grab Super Elite. We suggest in just one subscription, you can get all the access to all the courses. Another one, we have this course starting pretty soon for CGL Foundation course, the English medium one, all the subjects in English, including English, reasoning, quants and all. Also, the explanation is going to be in English. The CGL Tier 2 2024 Tier 2 course, the Crash Course 1, is going to start on 1st of October, available on the website. One can check. See you pretty soon on this channel. Tomorrow onwards on the SSC 1. Okay. Do join us on the official Telegram channels and thank you. See you. Thank you so much. Jai Jagannath. Esther. Prajwal. Come on. Yes, Manish. Saloni, Pradeep, Vaibhav, Soumya, Muskan. Great. Radhe Radhe. Ruchi, Akash, Neeru, Shweta, Sandhya, Manisha, Kalpana, Nitesh, Vedansh, Pragta, Abhishek, Armin, Radhika. Thank you so much. Aishi, Nandini, Prerna, thank you. Yashi, thank you. Shweta, Jatin, Saloni, yes, Nitesh, Nirvi, thank you. Love Kush, Priya, and all of you. Okay, see you. Take care. Be safe.